Hello, I am Rosie the Riveter. We were women of war during World War II. Our brothers, our husbands, our uncles were off to war, and we went to work in the factories. We were the production warriors of World War II. We riveted, we welded. We did what we could to support our country. Our husbands, our brothers, our uncles were fighting for us. So what did we do? We fought for them in the factories of America. This is the real Rosie. And these are my sisters who worked in the factories. They built boats, they built submarines, they built ammunition. They went to war in the factories of America during World War II. These women who were used to being at home, doing the laundry, washing the dishes, got up off that kitchen chair and they went to the factories. They learned how to weld. They learned how to rivet. They learned how to work in a factory. They shed their gowns and they put on their overalls, they put on their welding masks, and they did the work for us. So, the Rosie the Riveters of Manitowoc, Wisconsin worked on the submarines, and one of the reasons our submarines were so good was they went in each night after the crews worked on the submarines and cleaned it up. Every screw, every rivet was accounted for because of our Rosie the Riveters. And it was what made our Manitowoc submarines famous. Rosies were not just here in Manitowoc, they were across the country. Thousands and thousands and thousands of women went to work during World War II, got up from those kitchen tables, they went to the factories, they made the boats, they made the ships, they made all the supporting products that our boys that were at war needed. Without the Rosie the Riveters in our factories during World War II, we would not be where we are today. Who was this woman, Rosie the Riveter? It was Naomi Parker Fraley, who was the original Rosie the Riveter. She was working in a machine shop in California when a photographer came through and took her picture. And she is the icon of all of us Rosie the Riveters. Rosella Siebert, who is known as Rosie the Welder. In Manitowoc, there were over 600 Rosie the Riveters, but here they were kind of named Rosie the Welder. And if you look here is a tag, and it actually has her picture on it. These were the first security measures in factories. You had an ID button, and you could not enter the factory without it. This Rosie is 7701. She has a button with that number. She has her ID button, which has her picture on it. Her welding mask has 7701, and so do her welding gloves. So everything was tracked, and it's the security. First ID badge ever was happening during World War II, and the factories were very secure because they were making products for the war. Because we all know loose lips sink ships, and security was tight in the factories during World War II. We owe a lot to every Rosie the Riveter that went out of their home and went to the factories during World War II. Greetings, my fellow Rosies. Wow, I see you all, I see your eyes. You are all looking good. And I see a lot of determination in you. I see a joy in your work, and I see pride in your work. You really stepped up, and you did a great job welding, riveting, put on the overalls, and did what you needed to do. And you look very proud, and I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to represent you. Thank you, Rosies.